Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of CoinNewsExtra virtual blockchain and cryptocurrency panel discussion. It's a program that we invite cryptocurrency innovators, stakeholders, and enthusiasts to talk about pressing matters and pressing issues happening in the ecosystem. So today's episode is the 16th episode of our panel discussion, and we are glad to have a great personality joining us today. We have Roman Begin. Roman Begin is the founder and CEO all about crypto. Roman, you're welcome to CoinNewsExtra.
Well, thank you for the invitation to this discussion, and I'm happy to participate. Yeah,
it's our pleasure. You are welcome. So we are expecting Daniel Sloan to join us very soon. Daniel Sloan is a co-founder of Blockchain AI or practice manager at Future Tech. We are also expecting Chris Ann to join us soon, founder and CEO of Digital Abundance Limited. So let's proceed. So today we'll be talking about the future of digital assets. So Roman, you've been in the industry. You have a platform here. You educate people about blockchain and cryptocurrency. So we're talking about the future of digital assets. What can you define digital asset as? So some people may not really understand what digital asset is.
well, there are a lot of misleading, I would say, things, or let's say people think about digital asset more or less in the form of digital currencies or currencies in any other digital form, but asset is really quite wider term, because asset is actually everything that have some value. So basically what I think that the biggest asset in the digital form, so digital asset would be, is our data, our all the companies that are dealing with selling are basically collecting our data to give us the best offer, and that is really a big digital asset. But I'm sure we will not talk about that part, but that's so everything that is stored digitally, every kind of data can be in some manner treated as a digital asset if it has some value to somebody.
Interesting. Digital assets can be classified if it is. Okay, continue. Okay, you are saying something that it is classified if it has value. So that moves us to the next question. When you say digital assets, most especially in this space, people tend to think digital assets are only cryptocurrency. What's your take on that? Or digital assets only cryptocurrency?
No, cryptocurrencies are, let's say, the simplest representation of digital asset. But it is also the term of digital asset or digital currency was introduced more or less through Bitcoin, and that's why people similar to what are cryptocurrencies, people always think about Bitcoin, and some others think about some other cryptocurrencies also. But we know that digital currencies are wider term, and if we're talking about digital assets, it's even wider term. So basically cryptocurrencies are only part of digital assets, and they are the most commonly used, I would say.
Okay, they are the most commonly used, you will say. So we are looking at a situation that the world is facing now, the COVID-19 pandemic that is we are witnessing now. So this particular pandemic is affecting the economy of nations and other assets. So how do you say digital assets are performing in this period of pandemic?
Well, if we are looking at the current situation, I would say when the pandemic started, all the markets, not only digital assets but stocks, gold, everything went down. But gold picked up the fastest, and also other things get up quite soon. If we are looking at the prices of cryptocurrencies, then we can say we are approximately at the same place as we were before the pandemic. Let's say I don't think that it has much influence on, at least on cryptocurrencies. If we're talking about some other digital assets, then yeah, I think that also in this situation that we have now, people are or were more or less at home and started to think how the world will change if this situation persists for some longer time. And this is, I would say, this goes in a way to bigger adoption of digital assets in any form. Because if people will not handle,
It's like I lost you for a while, but we will continue. There are another thing we'll be talking about. You know how the industry is, cryptocurrency and blockchain space, the way it is. There are some things surrounding this ecosystem, most especially when it comes to regulations. And some people are skeptical about digital assets, most especially cryptocurrency type of digital assets. So people are skeptical about it due to lack of clarity of regulations of these assets around the world. So what can you say about this? You are joining us from Europe. How are the regulations?
yeah, we still, I would say, suffer a lack of regulations. Suffer in one way. We know that basically Bitcoin was not made to be regulated, but we all know that if we are connected to some entity where we want to, let's say, get out of crypto and use it as a, let's say, fiat money, we always need to be connected to some entity that is regulated. Because every, let's say, exchange or every company that can exchange you crypto to fiat, so dollars, euros, and stuff like that, must obey some part of regulation. But on the other hand, we have a lack of clarity what actually cryptocurrencies are, how they are taxed, and that's why especially companies have a quite difficult time, because they don't know what can happen to their business if they're stuck to the crypto. So if the country does not have some part of regulation on that place, then a lot of companies move to, at least in Slovenia, it is like that a lot of companies went out to the countries where there was at least some regulation. We know that it's not good to have too much regulation, because then you get the resistance, but it's not good to have no regulation. So it's always good to be on, let's say, to have some balance. But if countries are not doing a lot on that place, if they don't know how to deal with it, then it's not a good country to start, let's say, some serious business on the crypto space there, because you don't know what can follow.
Okay, thank you. Talking about regulations, you mentioned that some country, the regulation should not be tight, like it should be free a bit. There shouldn't be any the system shouldn't exist without a regulation at all. So the regulations should be moderate. So that brings us to another topic, another question here. We are looking at many countries are talking about CBDC, that's central bank digital currency. They are talking about it. So how do you see the future of digital assets in Europe with CBDC?
Well, yes, I believe that CDBCs have a good future, I would say, because we all know that old way of banking will not hold for a long time. So if there is no change on that part, then the cryptocurrencies could take over. But of course, the central banks will not allow that, and the CDBCs, so central bank digital currencies, are definitely one possible solution, which will be probably more or less put into our hands even without bigger knowledge. But my expectations for the future are that CDBCs will not take out other cryptocurrencies, because CDBCs have one purpose. Cryptocurrencies have some that have different purposes, and I believe that they will exist in parallel. But I think that the banks will need to implement the solutions where they will be able to store cryptocurrencies, central bank digital currencies, and even classical fiat for at least for some time. But I think that banking without crypto in the future will not be possible. So the banks that will not go in that direction, I think that will be slowly put aside by the other ones that think forward and accept this.
Thank you, Roman. That brings us to the last question that we have here. We've been talking about the future of digital assets and how are these digital assets transforming nations' economy and many businesses. What are the benefits attached to this digital?
Well, definitely, definitely, digital assets are very good for the economy itself, because we all know, as I already said, the normal banking is a little aged, and transactions take too much time. They're too expensive, and that's why digital assets are on place to let's say replace that kind of banking, and that's why CDBCs are also created or let's say explored by some countries. But in some other countries, a lot of people are also unbanked, so they don't have a bank account. And having a digital asset on so let's say your own bank on the phone means a whole different stuff. And this means also for the countries and for the economy a big step forward. And I think this will help a lot of countries' economies also to increase.
Thank you very much, Roman Beggins. We are grateful to our sponsors, MTech. We are grateful to Nimedis. We are grateful to Miami Blockchain Club. So thank you very much, Roman Beggins, for joining us today on CoinNewsExtra panel discussion.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation, and I believe that we meet also in some other occasion. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, so we are grateful also to our participants who took our time to join us on today's edition. Thank you very much. Thank you, and bye-bye.